welcome to Challenge Accepted. I'm Thomas, and I'm here with Frank.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, and I don't know if I paused long enough on the word accepted, but that is the movie today.
Yeah,
And it is awesome. Such a throwback, right?
it's a fun one. It is a throwback. Yeah, because they used to make a bunch of movies like this, right? Like Old School and things like that. But
Yeah.
do they
I
make
try to
these
think
anymore?
I don't feel like they do, right? Super bad, I feel like, is in
Yeah,
this category.
everything Will Ferrell used to do. Yeah,
Right. Old school. Yeah, totally. It has that vibe. And I miss comedies like that. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
there's one I saw recently that's kind of like it, but not anywhere near the same setting. Joyride. If you haven't watched that, I really
haven't watched
enjoyed
it yet.
that. I
Okay.
laughed my ass off. I thought it was funny. But this movie, I remember when it first came out, it like was mind shattering for me because I wasn't quite in college yet.
Mm.
And it was like, holy crap, is this what college is? Is it just like partying and
Oh,
like
no.
skateboard ramps and ordering 50 pizzas? Like, dude, this is going to be great. My college was nothing like that. Maybe
No,
on one or
yeah.
two occasions, but like, I didn't get to choose a made up major.
Right.
know,
Yeah.
like-
No. You having to meet with your counselor and be like, really? I got to take another math class?
Right.
Yeah.
But this is the last one, right? Just so I could graduate. I just need to do one more so I graduate, right? Yeah, that was me.
Sure, Thomas. Sure.
Yeah. Be like, I don't think you should be a business major, son. Like, get out of here.
Oh,
I
God.
don't think this is for you, kid. Yeah. But
When my counselor was like, "Oh, this is technically considered part of STEM, so that adds all these." But like, I don't need to that degree. Can I go to a different one? I'll go liberal arts. I don't mind. I don't want to go to STEM stuff.
right.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get my ticket punch, coach. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
just get me on the train. I gotta get out of here. So yes, such a throwback error. We get to see a very rookie Jonah Hill in it, but I mean Blake Lively too. Justin Long in his prime. Like so
Yes.
many fantastic actors.
Dodgeball.
How
That's
did?
it.
Yeah. What was it? Sorry, what was that?
Dodgeball. That's what I was like. What was it from? That I remember. Dodgeball. He's like the weak guy in Dodgeball. That's right. There's another one that was like, I don't know. Maybe there are. Let us know, guys. I don't think they just make straight up comedies like they used to. They definitely don't go to theaters like this did.
Yeah. The Machinist, Joyride, but it's not as prevalent and it doesn't hit. Like
Yeah.
this movie was a hit for me, at least, yeah, for my friends and everything at the age I was at. So, we've been long overdue. Let's get to the breakdown. Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Here we go. I'm going to tell myself too, just because I don't have a lot of notes on this one. Because not a lot that happens, really. Let's be honest. They
Yeah,
party.
right.
That's a big part of it.
Yes.
All right. And here we go. Bartleby, which is a really cool name, Gaines is a high school senior who is rejected by every college he applies to. He sees his friends are getting accepted, especially one friend in particular. He keeps getting the rejection letters. We've all been through that. It sucks. So much anxiety. He decides to create his own college, the South Harmon Institute of Technology. And yes, if you're smart enough, you caught that means shit.
Shitheads,
With his
let's go.
friends, yeah, Sherman and Michael, they create a fake website for the school, and then they end up hiring Sherman's uncle, Dr. Ben Lewis, who's played by Lewis Black, and I love him, to pose as the dean. The website goes viral back in the day before like social media was real popular, and shit is flooded with students just of all different types, and it's a real
Shit is
kind of like,
flooded. That's
Yeah.
funny.
it's an island of misfit toys, and everybody's on there. Bartleby and his friends are forced to scramble to try to make the school more legitimate. So they make a curriculum that's, kind of whatever, and they do all kinds of things to try to make the school more legitimate. They keep bringing into hurdles. Sherman's kind of the wise person who's also on another campus, and he's experiencing hazing and like all the worst parts of college, while over there they're partying the whole time. It seems great.
Yeah.
They rent an abandoned psychiatric hospital for this whole thing, and they begin to renovate the campus, and it starts to feel more legit. Eventually, the neighboring school that Sherman is at was like, "Hey, we want that property." They come
Yeah.
over and they're like, "Boom, boom, boom, let's have that property." And
Right. Like the main school, that's actually the legitimate school that it's
Exactly.
named after, too.
so 80s, like it's such an 80s trope of like, we're gonna shut down your rec center, kids, and stuff. So that's what's going on.
Right.
They go to court. They do the emotional, inspiring speech that literally all these movies had at one point or another. And boom, they save the day, and they're gonna go ahead and keep shit as a new college. That's it.
Right
Yeah.
on. Well done, man. You had a lot of time to spare, so hell yeah. Well, I can't get it anything in 2 minutes, and then you always come in under. So like somehow we need to like trade abilities a little bit. Yeah, but well said. It's such a fun time. And who like high school shows are still popular to today. I mean, there's Never Have I Ever. There was Riverdale. Like high school is such a great time. Now college is what I think our dads in our generation or like our uncles were like, college is the best time of your life, man. Like you're gonna go crazy in college, you know? And this is one of those movies where it was like, yeah, but what if you didn't get in? And what if you made college the way you wanted to make it?
Yes, this is dream.
Alone.
Dude, like how cool would it be if this college existed as like an adult summer camp? Like I would sign up for like a week of shit every summer to just like go off to some random campus nearby and just be like, hey, I'm gonna like, I don't know, become a master chef over the week. What the hell? You know, like I'm just gonna, because I kind of want to do that. I'm gonna make up my own criteria and boom, this other guy's a really good chef. He's gonna teach me. So that's cool. Like that would be such a cool summer camp.
It is. And it's a cool concept where it's like everybody's bringing their own skills, talents, knowledge to it. And then it's like everybody else is learning from them. Right. My perspective now, when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I could totally do that. Now I'm like, I don't know how any of that works for like a real job, but like there's woodworking and meditation and, you know, skateboarding and like all of that stuff is so fun. I'd like to try it for a week or 2 weeks or like, you know, do meditation for 1 week and then do woodworking and then do the crazy chef with like the food bomb. I forgot what he called it. The chocolate sludge thing that he makes.
Yeah. There's all kinds of cool things. What was the other one that I really wanted to do that whole like jumping a motorcycle into the pool. Like that was like, okay, get me a freaking bike now. That was awesome. I like that one a lot.
Right. Like, sorry, bro, got to do it again. Capsule on.
Yes. You know what's funny? Okay. So this movie came out in 2006, right? So the dad of Bartleby was born in 1960. So that means that he was 46 in this movie.
Okay.
So we're closer to the parents' age than we are to the kids' age in this movie. So when you're like, dude, these degrees don't work, you can't get a job. Who does that sound like?
That's so sad that you pointed that very true fact out to me. Yeah, that is so weird. But it's funny because I still feel like that kid. I still feel like the 21-year-old. And it's like, it's timeless. You know, that dad, hey, you better go to college so you can get a good job.
Right.
And that's what your parents, at least from what I remember, always wanted me to have was like, make sure you get a good job so you can support yourself and like you can have a family one day and all that stuff. I don't know. Do you feel like that still works or do you feel like things have changed a little bit?
So I think it changed quite a bit. So if you look at how like I think like our parents' generation, they went to college because like literally I remember the saying when I was in high school was like, oh, you'll get a job while you're going to college and that'll pay for college. That's impossible. Like it was for my parents was fine. They could totally do that. Impossible for us. School's way too expensive and everything else is, so that couldn't happen. And then I think the generation after that, so like, you know, millennials, we're all millennials here. And the next generation is like, I think we're a lot less hard on like, you have to go to school. It's more like, hey, trade school's nice. 2 years and you become an HVAC tech and they make more money than freaking lawyers. So why bother? You know, so I think it's a little bit more realism nowadays.
Yeah,
plus, big fan college is more expensive than ever. You know,
yeah, absolutely. You're right. Yes, I think I don't have kids yet, but I am I'm going to put the pressure on them to like, you have to go to college. It's like, hey, listen, it works for some people. It doesn't work for others. I do believe that. But my recommendation is if you don't know what you want to do with your life, it's a great place to try to figure it out. And so it's interesting, this whole concept. What I do love about the beginning of the movie when the team is being assembled is all of their different reasons for not going to college. It kind of makes me chuckle when I watched this last time, where it's like, oh, his best friend, who's the wide receiver, like breaks his knee. That one girl only applied to one school, didn't get in, or like it just kind of is funny all around. And they keep finding more and more reasons of why people didn't get accepted into college. And it was so ridiculous, but it was just like a little chuckle in the beginning of the movie for me.
There are a lot of things that, like community college, first of all, like why did you guys not just go to community college? And that's like anybody can go in. You basically just have to know where the doors are at and you're fine. But yeah, there are a few things where I'm like, I mean, come on, let's be real. But again, we're kind of the older fuddy duddies. When I was watching this as a kid, I was just like, hell yeah, that seems so cool. Other movies are also the same way. Another like actually like far better than people give it credit for is Euro Trip, which is kind of the same thing of all these. So
Dude,
freaking good, right?
that is so good. I showed Christina that not too long ago, like
Yeah.
sometime this year, and I was like, still holds up. Still holds
It's
up.
it's so good. And it's but that movie seems like I just need a few $100. I can go across to Europe. Bullshit. The flight alone you couldn't afford. Like
Yeah.
it's so expensive to do anything in that movie. But when you're watching it as a kid, you're just like, man, maybe I will just hang out with my friends in Europe for a few months. You know, it's
Oh my
crazy.
God. Yeah, that definitely is a challenge coming up at some point.
For sure. Yeah.
For this one, once the team is assembled and they find the location, they renovate that entire psychiatric hospital.
Nobody notices them doing it.
Nobody knows them doing it. They're like
Yeah.
completely revamping it. They're like painting walls and like sanding things down and like I'm like, how? I didn't know how to
Right.
do any. I knew how to like paint and maybe some basic stuff, but I couldn't use like a saw or like all this other crazy shit
Yeah.
that they were using to revitalize that hospital. I don't know. Did it make you also, were you like, wait, how did you, were you kind of having that thought process a little bit?
Right. None of them seemed like they were, specialists in electro. Oh God, none of them were electricians. Basically, is what I'm trying to
Electricians.
say.
Yes.
They were doing a great job with it though. And yeah, so there's a
Right,
bunch of
right.
stuff that was just, sure, whatever. And then again, they're renovating the gigantic building across the street from the campus that wants to buy them, and nobody's paying attention. And it's just like, I mean, come on. But yeah, you suspend the disbelief. I did find it to be like such a cool idea. And recently, matter of fact, a group of millennials did buy a school and turned it into their own apartments that they all live in now.
Yes.
And it's like, man, this kind of a little bit of this accepted. Like, how freaking cool is that? Like, they have it set up to where like they set up the basketball courts to actually be like their rec room now, and it's such an amazing setup. You guys got to check out the pictures for this thing. It's so freaking cool.
Show
And,
notes.
In the show notes, I'll put a link to something that shows all these. Yeah, for sure.
Sweet.
That's a good idea.
I gotta check that out too. But yeah, it's a cool idea, right? Like getting together with your friends because of these crazy circumstances your parents can't know, and we're gonna like make this work. The other crazy part is all of a sudden the button is clickable on the website, and now hundreds, maybe 1,000 people have now been accepted in this fake college. And that premise in itself is ridiculous as well. But they've all paid, or at least most of them have paid first semester's rent or whatever. That makes sense.
Tuition,
And then, or tuition rent.
There it is.
Yeah. I got real bills.
We're recording
on my
this pretty late, guys, just so you guys know we're tired.
right. I got real bills on my mind. But like, it's just a funny premise. They all of a sudden have all this money, like $1 million and they're spending it like college kids.
That's the other thing that ages this movie. They get $1 million and all of a sudden they start doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like, guys, the electricity alone is going to start eating away at that $1 million so fast. Like for that big of a building, all the lights are on, cut it out.
Yeah, exactly. Were you at any point thinking like, this is cool, this is awesome that they're doing it, but it's also kind of messed up that they're taking these kids' tuition and just like partying with it or like playing Xbox
nowadays
with
for
it?
sure. Yeah, it definitely seems like this is just straight up a scam. Like this is not. But Bartleby, like they pitched him like the Ferris Bueller kid, right? Like he's supposed to be so cool and conniving that he's above us all. So like even when he's deciding to do something like this, you're like it'll work out. I think that's something that I don't know. There's like a charisma that he has that kind of makes it to where it doesn't feel as bad that he's doing this to people.
Totally. Yeah. And it doesn't feel like he's doing maliciously to hurt them or anything. He's just like, this is going to be fine. Like we're giving everybody a place to go that they didn't have before. And it's just an interesting premise. When I was a kid, I was like, that's dope, man. Take that $1 million, put in the skate ramp, get the pizza, do the party. Like all that's, it's just funny in my old age now. Yeah. Like I did think about that a little bit.
It's like the movie Blank Check. That kid gets $1 million too from the 90s. And like the things he buys with $1 million was like, good luck nowadays, man. You can buy a nice house in a good area for $1 million.
Blank Check might be due for a revamp. Like if they
that actually would be good,
that movie,
make it $1 billion now. Then he could like really like go crazy and stuff like that.
Or
buys a baseball team he likes.
100 million. Yeah,
there we go.
100,
yeah.
Right? Or buys a whole apartment or what. There's so many, such a cool idea. I think this movie Accepted would also work now if they updated all the references.
I think it would work even better now because there's so much going on with tuition stuff going on that like
Right. And just normal acceptance standards.
exactly. And what if like now you made it to where it's like, hey, there's a new tuition forgiveness. Oh boy, this is gonna be political if you talk about it this way, but there's a tuition forgiveness program, and these guys like there's a glitch in the system, or all of a sudden like yeah, if you sign up for this certain school or you change a letter, all of a sudden everybody gets accepted. Like they, you could really modernize it to where it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. I think it's a good idea to make this again.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, yeah, and I think we have the right cast too in this movie. I was just thinking about it when we were talking about updating. I was like, how would you feel about Tom Holland playing Bartleby?
He could play any damn thing he wants to be. If he wants to be Bartleby, sure, he could play the
I
entire.
think I would
game.
have
I love that guy.
fun. Yeah,
He
me
would be
too.
really good.
But the whole cast is really fun. The football player friend, that guy's fantastic. I've seen Maria, I want to say Thayer in some
Yeah.
other shows as well. Like I think she was in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's just such a small part. But this was around that time that Justin Long was just exploding. Jonah Hill
Yeah.
was exploding. Blake Lively had just come off Gossip Girl, I think, or was in Gossip Girl. So like the cast was perfect for this college age, good looking, just this young cast. I really
Yeah.
dug it. And this is about the time where I'm like, okay, I really like Justin Long, but I really, really like Jonah Hill, and I want to see where this guy goes.
I think this is the first movie I saw him in, if I remember correctly. Because after this was super bad, and that was like game changer for me. And because that was like, oh, it's like accepted, but it's actually the friends I have, you know. So
Yeah.
it was great. And I think that was like but this is the first one I remember him on, and he looks very different today. That guy's gone through a lot of changes in his life, but yeah,
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, it is something else, man. But he had some funny lines in it, and we're getting to see like Justin Long and that crew, or Bartleby, is trying to create the college that every kid would want to go to. And
Yeah.
on the flip side, his friend Sherman is basically going through the college experience that nobody should go through.
Yeah, all
The
your parents want you to
hazing.
go through. Yeah,
Yeah, or parents think that they want you to go through.
that's
Right? Like just getting into the awesome fraternities, going to the prestigious school, surrounded by people who have connections maybe to like the outside world or post college. But yeah, it just seems so miserable, and it still seems miserable.
Mm.
And I wasn't a part of a fraternity. I always kind of thought it looked cool in movies.
Yeah.
But this is one of those movies for me, just being younger. I was maybe just had graduated high school or was still in high school when this came out. And I was just like, dude, I don't know if a fraternity is for me after this. It just
Yeah.
looked miserable.
If you were to remake this movie, I don't know if you could add the hazing aspect of it, because I think that I would hope is generally phased out. I know we were pretty hard on it for a while there, so I don't know if it's still around as much.
I think it's still around, but it's either hush hush or they've found ways that's not as, I don't know. How do I say? It's like not as
Not
bad
as
some of the
degrading,
other-
maybe, or actually
Yeah.
physically abusive or anything. It's
or
like the
physically
whole
abusive.
ask me about my wiener line, which I'm adding it in now because of course I am. Is like it's t-shirt worthy, right? That everybody had,
Oh my
everybody knew
God.
that line. Yeah,
That's still a GIF today. That's
Yes.
still a meme today. You know, like that thing is, that scene is so iconic. It's
Yeah.
still hilarious. I mean, of course it's degrading. Of course it's embarrassing, but it's pretty fucking funny. And,
well,
like,
that level of hazing, I think I'm okay with. Like, I don't know if it's smart for me to say I'm okay with hazing, but like that's levels fine.
no, a little
That's
bit
just
of
good fun all around.
embarrassment.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But but it also has to draw the line there, right? And obviously it doesn't for him in the fraternity. And he's trying to do what his dad wants him to do. He's trying to be this person his parents think that he should be, but it's going too far. It's brutal. It's very, oh man, it's just
Yeah.
embarrassing. And finally he kind of comes to the light side, or the realization that I could be a Harmon grad and I can be in this fraternity, or I could be with my friends, love it, and be a shithead. And
Yeah,
he
shit,
chooses
I love it
shithead.
so
Yeah.
And what's funny is it's like he's so incredibly talented, and his talents are wasted at the school that's supposed to teach him the best of himself. And if he just goes be a shithead, he could actually use all his skills and actually thrive. So it shows you that there's no right path. You know, you got to find the one that works best for you, I guess.
Absolutely. There's one other person who I absolutely loved as a kid. It's still funny. He still had some of the best lines. It's become less funny to me now, but Glenn, I man, Glenn for me when I first saw this movie was such a standout. He is the chef. He's also working at like the quick stop that gets fired, has the quirky personality. How did you feel about Glenn?
I remember him being like so funny, but now I was like, he's kind of so unbelievable that he's not. He kind of was almost a little cringy in a way. I don't know.
You hate comedy, man. Just say it.
No, but like I love comedy, but so to me, like the funniest person in this movie, and actually has always been that way, is Lewis Black, because I like Lewis Black a lot. So and you could tell they let him ad lib. Matter of fact, they left in the audience or the cast breaking at one of his lines at the end of the movie, like you hear everybody just start laughing.
Yeah.
So like you can tell he's just totally ad libbing everything. But to me, he's hilarious. Of course, he's an ancient old man, but still,
which is perfect casting. I mean, that guy who like doesn't trust the government and
that uncle,
that uncle, which is so perfect. Again, just awesome casting all around. Now, the Blake Lively and Justin Long of it all. Like, I remember again being in high school watching it and just thinking, wow, what a babe, like dream girl. And she just realizes how special this guy is. And that's what gets the girl. I think I always wished that for me. Like, it never really, like, I'm maybe my friends might say different. I don't feel like it did, but I felt like a Justin Long growing up, where I was like, I don't know if I'm really cool, but like I did play sports, but I wasn't always like the best. And I was like, hopefully this super cute girl just realizes like I'm awesome by myself and likes me.
Which she did, right, Thomas? You found your Blake Lively, correct? Dig yourself out of this hole, man.
Now for sure.
Yeah, okay, good. As long as you kind of said that out there.
No. I meant like, yes.
Yeah, back then.
My wife is amazing, special, and all the above. But it's like, this is me back in high school.
Of course.
Like, wanting that dream girl, right? And it just, I don't know. What did you think about the whole Blake Lively?
Oh, how many times did you? I mean, I've seen so many movies where I was just like, oh, okay, so this is the trick to like girls will notice you now. Oh God, I got to figure it out. Let's study Justin Long. Yeah, I mean, it's so unbelievable. Even now, I'm like, Blake Lively is so much better than Justin Long in this movie. Like, come on now, what is she thinking? But
weirdly enough, for me, I feel like she's gotten more attractive as she's gotten older, though.
I agree. Like, her and Ryan Reynolds is an awesome couple, to be honest with you. In my opinion.
My God, powerhouse! Like just perfection in couple form, absolutely. But I think this is about the time I got introduced to her, and her career has gone on to do amazing things, and a lot of this cast has. So, what an awesome start for a lot of these young actors.
One of the characters I want to make sure to call out, this is going to be kind of a serious moment here, guys, is so Robin Lord Taylor. I really like that actor because he's in. I'm a big fan of all the Vacation. In this one, he plays Abernathy Darwin Dunlap. What I don't care for this character, because we know a lot more about the situation now, is his character has ADD. Literally, his initials are ADD. The joke is that he has ADD. That's why he's so, in the show or the movie, high strung and out of whack. Well, today, ADD is very much a normal person. Like, you would not recognize somebody with ADD. Generally, there might be outside situations. But I will say, like we talked about last week, Joker villainizing some mental health stuff. And I don't want to necessarily harp on this every week, but I think in this specific case, it stood out to me as something that did not age well at all.
Right. Yeah. Like, I found myself feeling very sad for him and being like, oh man, that's a bummer. It's played up for comedy purposes, and I try to let it go. Right. But like, I felt kind of bad for him, and he seems like such a sweet kid in it. He really does want to be somewhere and learn and grow, and luckily through this school, and be accepted. But like, he does, and that's sweet of it. But it didn't age very well for sure.
You're right though. When like the bubble pops and all of a sudden everybody realizes that Justin has been lying to everybody, like they make sure to show him, and you're just like, oh no, buddy, you'll find a new home. I promise. You feel so bad for him, and he's just like trotting away, and it's so terrible.
Yeah.
And then I want one more thing that we got to talk about. The character doesn't actually have a name. They just call him Freaky Student, but he's Jeremy Howard. He plays Jerry. He plays basically the X-Men. Like, right? He's an X-Men in the middle of this whole thing. Can make things blow up with his mind.
Yes. Just so random, right? Like, that's all he wants, and he has his own interesting quirks too. He's a very interesting look, I will say, and at the end, all that practice pays off. right?
He
Like
blows up the freaking car.
he blows up the Deed's car, which is like the thing too, right? Like I think even in old school, right? Like the guy that they all hate is the dean, and they're able to, at the end he's defeated. They beat him through, I don't know. I want to say like the power of friendship, but it's like really organizing it and showing that there is growth, there is learning here, there is a path for these students to gain real world skills, and like it's just not conventional. It's not the way that you guys would have done it in your ivory towers sitting in front of us in the law room, whatever it's called.
No doubt that 20 years later we would definitely recognize that as valid. Like I think that's something today. Like if you are a visual learner, like we can make classes that work around you. We'll find a way for that to work. Like this movie, when remaking it, you almost have to totally change the story because totally shit is a great school. You just got to find a way for it to work.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the accreditation aspect that's where the realism comes in, right? And it seems very easy in this to be like, oh, because of this amazing speech that I gave you and all these students standing up and saying, we learned this, they're able to be accredited for a semester. But I think that would be a lot harder in real life. Sure. You don't come to this movie for realism, I think, right? Like,
no, you're just having fun. Yeah. And a lot of these movies were that way. Like even in that final scene, they made it very clear. They said it a couple of times, pretty much foreshadowing, like you have to hit these three things to be, accredited. And then in the end, it was just a speech that went over. So it was like, you guys really foreshadowed those three things pretty hard. You think the speech would recognize all three of those at some point to kind of like, oh, look, these qualify.
No, it answers like maybe two, definitely one. And then that's it. And it's like, exactly. What happened to the third one you need to be accredited? Like, right. I guess whatever. Yeah. Your amazing, inspiring speech is all we need to give you this college accreditation. Right. Like that's, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But that's what this movie's about, is just like, you have to really suspend disbelief. And that's the other thing too, is I think, again, 20 years later, we're very much more cynical when we watch things.
True.
Back then, especially at our younger age, Waterboy and like all these different movies that came out, we're just like, let's just watch a movie and laugh with the jokes. And that's what this was. And so sometimes you kind of have to just shut your brain off a little bit and not overthink it.
Absolutely. One scene in particular that I was very critical about this time and found myself being critical and then was just like, shut the hell up, brain, enjoy this, was when they were going to have that giant rock party. And then the other fraternity guys came in and, this kind of argument on the dance floor happens. He's like, you're with this nerd now, pointing to Justin Long. And they're like, whatever. And then they pull the fire alarm and it starts raining everybody. My first thought was not like, hell yeah, party in the rain. It was like, get the F out of here. I don't want to be rained on in the middle of the night.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, you guys just fixed the school and now it's got all kinds of water damage.
God, yeah, totally. Right. Like
such old men.
Such old men. I had to push that out of my brain. And then they start rocking on. And you're like, yes, like this is the attitude you probably should have if it starts raining. Like the attitude for Bartleby the whole time was like, we can do this. We can do this. Like, it's just funny to me that it didn't happen for him. Like somehow he didn't get accepted into any colleges when he was like this smart, I want to say ingenuity, but like, is there a word to describe the person?
Well, I think it's because his intelligence doesn't fit in the school system, which is kind of the point of the whole movie, because we saw that like he's super good at everything he's doing, except for he gets in trouble in class. And like the whole point of this movie is that like, people just don't fit into that exact system. You have to build the system around them.
Yeah. Or maybe there's a different system we can set up that does work for them. Right. Yeah, totally. And yeah, it's funny. Like this wasn't one of those movies where I thought, we would find some real life meaning behind it, but it seems like we've kind of gone that way, but it's beautiful. I think in that aspect, right? I mean, there's a lot I probably learned at that time that didn't really conceptualize, but when you look at it, there's a little bit more meat under this layer than you really realize.
It's hard because we just came off of Joker, which was just all meat. So
yeah, exactly.
We're kind of like maybe over analyzing even though we did shut our brains off a little bit, but like this was a really nice palate cleanser
totally,
after that one.
Reflects the social justice system, and it truly is one of those by God movies, right? Where
Yeah.
it just was fun. And like, I miss movies like that. I want the nerdy guy to get the girl. I want her to like fall in love with him because who he is. I want it to work out where it's like this super ridiculous situation. And because they put in time and effort, it like just works out. And this is one of those movies. It's so good. I like Justin Long. Like, I miss seeing Justin Long in some things.
If you like him, he has an excellent podcast that is part of Wondery. Yeah, that everybody should be checking out. Where it's just really good. It's actually very Justin Longy. You should check it out, guys. That's basically it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I might have to check that out. Might have to fit in my busy schedule though. So good luck, Justin.
It's very highly produced. It's been released since 2020. He's part of Wonder. Yeah, he's part of the. So it's like really high up there in that sense. And he interviews a ton of people, and a lot of it's just like question and answer in a way like how I don't know, like think of something like how is the banking system done in Europa? Boy, that's all wrong. But anyways, he'll bring in people and talk about stuff, or like it's just like the randomest questions and stuff. It's a good show. Yeah.
Right on. Nice. Yeah, this was him at his peak, right? He does this. I remember him from Jeepers Creepers. Like that was a movie where I first met Justin Long. Was like, whoa, this kid is like really good. That movie still scares the shit out of me.
Thanks.
But man, yeah, I miss this bygone era. And yeah, such a slice of history for me.
To me, Will Ferrell is like the flagship of this era. Like everything Will Ferrell came out with was so just like, oh, there's a new Will Ferrell. Let's go to the theaters and watch it, kind of thing. And so I miss that.
I agree with you, but I'm also gonna say Vince Vaughn. Like Vince Vaughn,
Vince Vaughn had his heyday. Yeah.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn was kind of tied up in it, and it was like Vince Vaughn, the Wilson brothers, like Owen Wilson, his brother, I think too, and then there was like one other. Yeah, I mean, I think Will Ferrell kind of dipped in.
Yeah, Adam Sandler too. Adam Sandler.
Yeah. But it's like,
man, we should put together like a journey through the '90s or whatever we would call it. I don't know, but like go from like these Will Ferrells and Adam Sandlers that defined our young adulthood. I think that would be very fun to do.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We'll have to make it a special month like Nolan. Good idea. Yeah. Let's put that in the notebook. I like that.
There we go, guys.
Yeah.
Anything else for this movie before we get into the fun facts?
No, let's fire away. I mean, I think we touched on it pretty good and not in a dirty way.
All right, here we go. Into the fun facts. A lot of the movie was improvised, and a lot of the gags were pitched by the actors on the day of shooting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just think about that, right? Like we have Deadpool 3 that's filming, and they had such a hard time, I guess, navigating some of the scenes because he couldn't ad lib. Now this movie is primarily ad libs, and it crushed. Like that's like, I mean, yes, the writers were involved, but like the collaborative process with great talent, with good writing, with a director who has a vision, who trusts the actors and all the above, like that works. Keep that going.
You used to do improv, right?
Yes.
How hard would it be to do a movie with that?
Well, with this premise, and if they know their characters really well, I don't think it would be that hard, but it really depends on if you think what you're saying fits and is funny. Because at the end of the day, this is a comedy. So if you think you're funny yourself, like you crush it. If who you are or what is in your brain that your character is supposed to say is not funny, it might not be funny. So it's a slippery slope. It could go either way. For me, I'd probably kill it, but like, I'm pretty humble.
I'm real bad. I don't think I'd be good at improv.
That was a joke, by the way. So nobody take that too seriously.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking like,
this is why I don't act professionally, bro.
Well, I'm just thinking of like the art of improv. I'm like, that's got to be so stressful up there. Like having to think of the next line. God, I don't know.
It can be. I mean, one of these days we'll go through my first performance, first night where we actually performed. It was talk about college. It was at a community college in this really awkward little theater room with basketball bleachers. You know how they kind of like ascend upwards, and it was bad. I'll tell you guys the story later on, but
okay.
It was rough, man. But you practice, and then we were basically like the opening act on Friday nights, and you get better at it, and you kind of start understanding your castmates and stuff. So truthfully, like chemistry between castmates is so important. Understanding who your character is, what they want, what obstacles they may run into or are running into to get to what they want is very important. And man, for them ad-libbing all this, like they nailed it. I love it.
Crazy.
I think they killed it.
That's
for sure.
fascinating. All right. Lewis Black's character says the word fuck twice, but one was literally bleeped out in order to make the movie PG-13.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's pretty good because everything is ad-libbed. And if you know Lewis Black, 2 is pretty good.
So yeah, there's a lot of F-bombs that guy drops for sure. I'm trying to think of the one he bleeped out because I remember at one point it's just like out of nowhere, but still fits. I gotta yeah. We gotta try to add that one in, maybe.
Here we go. This is for you in Comic-Con. As part of the promotion for this movie at Comic-Con in San Diego, promoters threw a huge welcome party open to the public with barbecue, beer, skateboarding demos, and a wall where they could write their quote-unquote subjects like they do in the movie. Justin Long and the other cast members mixed in with the crowd and were kind of like, you couldn't really pick them out. They were trying to blend in with the crowd as if they were like in the experience too.
And this was at which school?
This is at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con.
While this movie was coming out?
Like for promotion of this, they basically made like an opening day for this school at Comic-Con.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Very smart, interesting promotion. I'm sure that killed it. In 2006, man. Wow.
You know something?
Yeah.
There's not a lot more. Let's see. There were 39. There we go. I'll go with this one. There were 39 shots of Apple computers in the movie. The star, Justin Long, eventually became the spokesman for Apple computers in the I'm a Mac, I'm a PC commercials just prior to the release of this movie. So the timing was perfect.
Oh my God. I remember those commercials, man. Was that when they had the colorful Macs? Where it was like the blue,
I think it was right when they were going into the clean look because the colorful Macs were in the 90s. I think it was right when they were going into like the white look where everything's clean and white.
Right. Man, I remember those commercials. I was like, man, I want a Mac. Like that's I don't want to be the PC guy. He's such a dork. You know,
I know.
like yeah.
It was really good advertising because I mean, like Macs cannot play PC gaming hardly at all. They're just not good. They're not meant for it. And I knew that, but still, like, I gotta get a Mac for something, man. These things are cool. These commercials are neat.
Yeah. I got a fact here, but I don't even know if this is true. Okay. This could be completely BS, but it's like, let's see, trivia quiz. For those of you who don't know this film won 2 Oscars, 3 Tonys, and a Jeff.
How did it win a Tony?
It goes, joke. Okay, it hasn't won anything, and Jeff isn't even an actual award, but go with it. Wink, wink. So sorry, should have read more into the quote. That's great.
All right, I'll give you one more. The character of Ben Lewis was specifically written for Lewis Black, so they knew that they were always going to cast Lewis Black for this movie.
That's awesome.
I love Lewis Black so much. He's just such a cool character. He's on a lot of The Daily Show and stuff. He had his own show for a bit there too.
Yeah. I mean, did he ever do his own stand-up? I want to say
all the time. He does stand-up all the time. I had some of his CDs and stuff like that back in the day. When CDs were a thing. God, I'm so old.
I know. I was like, wow, you just dated yourself right there, man.
We used to go, the early, I can't even say other names. Like, the early Kevin Hart and stuff like that. You bought the CDs and then like everybody would circle around.
Dane Cook. Remember Dane Cook? I had the Dane Cook CD.
I can't. I hated him so much, but yeah.
I don't like him now, but back in the day, he killed it. But yeah, it was just that era. Like, there's also a funny part in the movie where I think they're playing their first Halo and they're like spamming all the wrong buttons, which really irritates me now for no reason. But I was like, whoa, the original Halo when that was the shit. Like, whew,
dude, the LAN parties, we did LAN parties like up to 2010. Like we were doing LAN parties beyond they needed to be doing. So fun. Like it's so hard. One of my birthdays actually was an overnight LAN party with League of Legends. Like we all came to my house, everybody brought their PCs. Sick. We did an overnight LAN party playing League of Legends, and we did Star Wars Battlefront 2, another birthday of mine. It was like, these were like, by the way, like, and I was like 32. Like they were adult birthday parties that we did these with. So.
Yeah, but that's fun, man. Turns out they're doing adult Nerf as well. Like if they ever make a Accepted 2 or like they reboot this, like adult Nerfs have been popping up, and I'm like,
yes,
I want to go in there and own some 10-year-olds for like an hour. Because that sounds so fun. Like Nerf was so cool back in the day. And it's like, doesn't hurt. It's not paintball. It's not like airsoft, like, yeah.
I used to be really big into paintball. I had like a sniper rifle paintball gun because there's like tiers and stuff like that. So there's like the person in the back that's kind of the coverage. That was me. I used to be huge into paintball. I loved it.
Don't get me started on airsoft. Or I was right around the time of The Matrix. I pretty much, other than showing up in a black trench coat, like I thought I was Neo. Like I was ready to. I had so many like airsoft guns. It was such a waste of money. But yeah, what a bygone era. What a great little snapshot of life in 2000, in like the mid 2000s. Yes. Such a good movie, kind of capturing that time and just like the funny goofiness and what it was like to be a teenager in this time period. I love this movie for that.
The next time we do one of these movies of this era, because like to me, for you and me, these are like almost like they're not childhood, but they feel like that. They kind of have a very familiar tone with that. Like they're so part of our growing up. We need to tag in somebody a different generation than us. Like I've got like my nephew has streamed with me and stuff like that. Maybe we'll tag my nephew in or something like that, just to see what like a 10-year-old would think about a movie like this. I wonder if they would be as attracted to it as we are.
Or a girl.
Yes, that would be a really good idea. That's a smart move.
Like,
yes.
We're for that as well. So hey, if you have any of the listeners, if you want, send us an email, write us in the review. We'll figure it out. We'll try to make it work. So but idea. I agree with you. We need someone from a different perspective, and it almost might be fun to like revisit some of the stuff we've done. So if you have any ideas of that, or you're like, you guys are seriously missing this awesome movie from our childhood, I don't know how you guys haven't mentioned this before, drop it in there, because I'm not that smart and I have a memory like a goldfish. So please throw it in there so I can remember it.
The feedback we got from RRR, I mean, we learned a lot from that feedback, the YouTube video and stuff like that. So like we're going to be doing another one of those eventually, another Indian based movie based off of the conversations we've had in the comment section from the RRR one. I love that. Like that's gold. So that's perfect for us. 100%. Just a real quick shout out, by the way. Justin Long's podcast, sorry to cut you off, is called Life is Short. So guys, life is short.
That's funny because the short and the long. That's good.
Yeah.
Clever. Way to go, Justin.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, he's quite the smart guy.
Do you want to do a review for this?
No, but I will.
All right, go for it.
Okay.
No, but I will.
Accepted is a slice of mid 2000s life. It was what every high schooler dreamed college would be, and maybe some college kids at the time. Such a ridiculous, fun comedy, but still has a lot of great laughs that hold up to today. A lot of these actors that you see in the movie have gone on to be big stars, and this is one of the first places we get to see them and are introduced to them. Highly recommended if you've never watched it and are looking for a good laugh.
Nice job. That's well done. Yeah, that covered all the bases. Accepted is a great movie just to watch while you shut your mind off and enjoy the show. It's short and easy to consume. Predictable, sure, but sometimes you just need that. The actors are clearly just having fun on set, and you get to join in on the laughter. There you go.
Check, check, check.
Perfect.
That is acceptable, my friend. I like that.
Yeah, acceptable. Take a shot every time we said accepted. No, that's dangerous. God, we said it a lot.
Over every episode.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. So have you seen the show Venture Brothers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't watched all of them, but I've watched it.
Okay. I was really hoping to like uncover something new for you, but okay. That's
okay.
I'm going to have 2 episodes you have to watch if you don't mind doing 2. So the first one is season 1, episode 9, called Tag Sale You're It. And it's the one where the Venture Brothers are having a yard sale outside, which is classic. The next one is called 20 Years to Midnight, season 2, episode 5. And it's one where somebody from the future comes back in time to tell them they have to build a device to save the future. And you just see everybody doing that, and it's a muck. And so it's great. This show's perfect. This is
just botching it. Yeah.
This is literally, in my opinion, a perfect show. So that shows you how high my standards on this one.
Yeah. Right on. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I've seen episodes like here and there because it was on Cartoon Network or Adult Swim, right?
Adult Swim, yeah.
Yeah, so like it was definitely on, but I don't think I paid attention that much to it. So thank you for finding these individual episodes. I'm looking forward to this. Where can I watch it? Is it on Max?
So it's on Max. One of the cool things is it's two people that do like all the writing for this, two guys, right? And that's why the seasons are like 3-4 years apart sometimes, because it's just the two working on them. And they have animators and stuff too, but it's not a big crew. They finally made a movie to finish the story, and that came out like July or whatever to purchase. And by the time we do the episode for this, it'll be on Max. So the final movie is just releasing on Max. And matter of fact, Adult Swim, being awesome, is streaming the entire series for free on YouTube right now as we're recording this. So
my God.
It's a live stream, and there's so many. Dude, you know how toxic live stream comments are? The comment section for this live stream, I was just watching it before you hopped on, is just people being like laughing and talking about, oh, I love how I said this. Like, it's just so wholesome. Yeah. It's great.
Oh my God. We need more of that. Dude, hell yes. Yeah. Well, join along, everybody. Check it out on Max or on YouTube. It's right there. It's for free. No mega corporation is really making money except for probably YouTube and some other people who are probably getting
Max and Warner Brothers.
but
we can enjoy it for free.
Yeah. Enjoy it for free with us. Let us know what you think and tell us what you think about Accepted. Like, it's quite a movie. So let us know.
And now we watch your guys' recommendations on the next 2000s movie we should watch, because I think we should visit more of these, because that was a lot of fun. That was good. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Aloha.